Ali, you're a nice guy. But you're not speaking to somebody that will just let you speak this way, you know?
What the fuck are you gonna do about it? I'm not gonna allow you to speak to me the way you wanna speak to me.
Ali, if you have a personal problem with me, forget religion. Put religion aside.
You know what? Fuck this shit, bro. What the fuck you talking about?
Ali. In today's episode of Alpha Male Cringe, Cornball of the Month, whatever you want to call it, we'll be taking a look at Ben, or as the internet likes to know him as, King Azoulay. Now look, when I was originally going through this guy's videos, I was like, yeah, okay, it's another typical alpha bro. But then I started doing a little bit more digging, and the more I dug up, the more awful stuff I find. Yikes, it's not a good look for Ben. So let's take a look into it. So if there's one thing you have to know about King Azoulay, is this is a man of many backgrounds, and he has simply done and been through it all.
I was a black belt by the time I was like 10 years old. My uncles were working with pop. I fought 30 guys at the same time and they couldn't take me out. My family background, majority of them are gangsters. And I trained martial arts my whole life.
Kicked him in the leg, picked him up and threw him on the coffee table. The coffee table broke in half. From that point on, my dad knew he couldn't take on.
Have you ever been next to a f***ing bus that was blown up?
No.
No, I have. Have you been at a restaurant that was blown up?
No.
No,
Again,
I
this
have.
goes back.
I went into Kung Fu, to Muay Thai, to kickboxing, to Krav Maga. I left Taekwondo, it wasn't for me.
And I would stare at people. It was Russian guys. But I ended up beating the out of like 5 of them.
At the age of 12, there was 5 Mexican dudes trying to jump me in the bathroom. I beat the shit out of them. I left one of them with his head in the toilet. The following day, they came and they started shooting at me.
I fought 10 guys at the same time and beat their ass. And I fought 40 guys and I got jumped by them. And I was 13 years old.
And you just said you're a descendant of King Solomon. I named myself King once I found that out. And then I grew my beard and I realized I have his wisdom.
Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but Kung Fu Panda was actually inspired by this man's life. Yeah, contrary to popular belief, Kung Fu Panda, it was a biopic about King Azoulay's life. It's kind of insane, you know?
When we came to the US, I started eating at a Chinese restaurant. The owner was, for me, Master Shifu. When I used to go there, eventually the owner fell in love with me. And he said, that kid is special. And I would come to him, and before I would eat, he would move all of the tables, and he would teach me Kung Fu. And I was 10 years old. So I learned how to move with like Kung Fu, you know?
Yeah.
And if you don't think that's impressive, this man is a descendant of the King Solomon.
And you just said you're a descendant of King Solomon. I named myself King once I found that out. And then I grew my beard, and I realized I have his wisdom. It was passed down. I felt something for a very long time. Well, they say King Solomon, one of the wisest and richest man that ever lived. The smartest man, the wisest man. How do you know you're related to him? Well, we went back through my last name, and then looked at my DNA, and found out that I'm a descendant of his. How would your DNA tell him? No, if you go back with my name, and you check the DNA that I'm really from Morocco, you go back in time, you can know. So basically, old King Solomon got down with some lady who ended up having somebody, and eventually here you are. So Azoulay was a royal family, but we stepped down from royalty. It was very serious. But if you have the name Azoulay, doesn't matter where you are, they go, Azoulay, the right-hand man of the king in Morocco today. He's also a family member of mine, also Azoulay. So if
I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of proof on such bold claims, but I mean, this guy seems like an amazing guy, and he would never do anything wrong, so I guess we just gotta take his word for it and continue to get to know him more.
Do you know that the Shaolin monks don't ever in their life?
Oh, okay, dog. I don't think we needed to know that, but thank you for sharing that with the class.
How did you even get connected with them?
When I was first of all younger, before I arrived to the US, I used to watch Bruce Lee all the time. We moved here, I didn't speak any fucking word in English. I didn't speak one word in English. What I did find was a Chinese restaurant right across the street When I used to go there, eventually the owner fell in love with me, and he said, that kid is special. There it was about 3:30 to 4:30. It was the time that I left school, and I would come to him. He would move all of the tables, and he would teach me Kung Fu.
That's
and
so
I was
cool.
10 years old. It was different, and I loved it. From there, when I got older, I said, I really want to go and train with the Shaolin monks. Then I went out there. First of all, they don't accept you.
How did you get in?
You have to wait outside of the temple. When they let you in, they teach you things that are unbelievable. You don't understand that they are the strongest people in the world, and they don't their whole life. And there is more secrets that I can't share, but the things that they taught me was to the point where I did not feel like I was ever going to be afraid of dying.
Oh, that's right, guys. My bad. I completely forgot this guy is actually Po from Kung Fu Panda. I do have one question, though. Why was one of the secrets... Why would they share that specific knowledge to you that they don't do that? Seems a little odd. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more knowledge they could have shown you, and that was what they showed you? Okay. Speaking of knowledge, this guy's probably the smartest guy on the planet, so you have to give him credit for that.
90% of our body is water.
The average Jew has 160 IQ.
When you have direct sunlight on your balls, it raises your testosterone levels by 140%. Holy shit. When you do sprints, you raise your testosterone level by 120%. When you sit in ice, you bring up your testosterone levels by about 350%. Holy shit. When you have women that are crazy about you, naturally your testosterone shoots through the roof because you're ready to mate. People that go to the gym to exercise, they're actually harming their body. Exercising is bad for you. People that are exercising, they do nothing. So you don't lift weights? I do lift weights, but very heavy weight. See those lines? Holy shit. Pro bodybuilders today, they don't have these lines. Look at that six-pack. Holy shit. But then most gyms that you go to, they tell you, don't yell, don't lift too heavy, don't slam the weights. Fuck you, I paid for a membership. Get the fuck out of my face. I'm lifting. I took fucking 2 scoops of pre-workout. My brain's about to fucking explode.
Hell yeah, it's about to explode, brother. For all that knowledge that you have in your head, you need to let it release. Unlike the monks, though, you can't let it release like the monks. So now look, I think you pretty much get the gist of how awesome this guy is. If you couldn't tell, I've been very satirical this entire video. This guy is an absolute cornball who can't keep a story straight. He's also been alleged to be doing some very awful things in the past. I say alleged, but I mean the court documents are there, the proof appears to be there. So take of that as you will. Again, I wasn't there that night, so I can't say whether or not that's true. So you can be the judge of that. But just as a fair warning for everyone, it's pretty disturbing.
You see, she said that she was a freshman in college. She had a few drinks. We all had some drinks. Everybody was fine. Everybody was cool. Nothing like that ever happened. She then went to my brother and tried to get with him. My brother didn't want to, but at the same time, this girl was very adamant about getting somebody to hook up with her. So we're hanging in the backyard, and she sits next to one of the young men who was 17 years old and asked him, will you sleep with me? And I told him, you guys cannot go in my house. If you want, you guys could do it here. So they tried it in front of everybody. And then next thing that happened was it didn't work for him. So a few seconds after, they stopped and they were just sitting down and hanging out with us. You know, young people having drinks, trying to test something they haven't tested before, doing things around people. Okay, things happen when you're a young adult. People do some things that they probably wouldn't do as an adult. So I don't want to say anything bad about the girl, I don't want to say anything bad about the guy, and I don't want to say anything bad about anybody. But when the girl left my house, she said bye to everyone, and the kid that did touch her took her back home. In the morning, cops show up at my house, take me in, arrest my brother, and interrogate us to see if that's truly what happened. So after they interrogated us, they released me and my brother. And after they interrogated her as well, we then start going to court.
Now that you heard his bullshit fairy tale movie story of what happened that night, right? It clearly differs from the story that is written in the actual criminal case that I showed you. A highly intoxicated H is repeatedly and forcibly AR'd by at least 3 of the defendants while the others stand by and watch. H was forcibly dragged into a bedroom by Ben, who stripped of her clothes, forced her to perform OS on him, and then oral blank on her against her will. Ben then proceeded to brutally force himself upon H, beating her and AR'd her against her will. Other boys, including Dylan and Mayer, watched while this was going on, but made no effort to stop Ben. Now this is where he's claiming it's a money grab. $50 million, he's saying, the family and this girl wanted from him, which
Also, I hope these allegations aren't true. I hope that he didn't do any of this. But, yeah, I mean... But in essence, this is King Azoulay, or better known as Ben by his parents. This is him. He's just your basic, typical alpha male wannabe character online who's trying to make a quick buck off of his gullible fans. And assuming what he did was true, that is deplorable, despicable, and I'm at a loss for words, truly. It's one thing to play a character online, deceive your fans, and then this just crosses a whole nother boundary of bad. It just goes to show not everything is as it appears, and people have quite the skeletons in their closet, to say the least. With all that being said, I think that'll pretty much wrap it up today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.